Okay, good evening. My name is Dr. Mark DeBrincat. I am the Vice President of Vox Clinical Strategies, and I am super excited to be here with you tonight and that you've taken the time out of your busy evening to get on this call. And we had just come back from convention in Las Vegas, and that was unbelievable. It was the first Vox International Convention, and we just had an amazing time. And so many of you practitioners were there, and it was great to get to meet you and get to know you personally. And for some of you, put the face to the name that we have been communicating with. So at any rate, I am just thrilled tonight to try to bring you a little synapse of a presentation that I did there in Vegas. Now, that presentation was about 2 hours long, so we're going to try to keep it under 20 minutes tonight and just hit the highlights of the exciting things that are happening with Vox and how so many practitioners are just jumping on board and getting behind this product because they see, without a doubt what it does and how it's enhancing people's lives and how it's getting them better faster and keeping them well and literally changing the world as we know it, especially in the tunes of healthcare. So without further ado, I want to just go ahead and bring you our presentation from Vegas. So I want to first start out a little bit, real quick, with my personal story. Years ago, my wife and I were in a head-on collision with an 18-wheeler and spent many years disabled and being a chiropractor and a natural healer and into all sorts of modalities and therapies that are really impacting and changing people's lives. It took me a lot of years, but, through all of that, the beginning of my way out of the deepest, darkest part of that healing was finding neurostimulation. And you can see from this computer here that's implanted in my spine, this was like the best neurostimulation device that was available at the time. And it was great because it helped get me out of my wheelchair and basically block all the pain that my brain just wouldn't receive the real pain signals. And so I was very intrigued with neurostimulation. And after 7 back surgeries, it was this device that gave me the most relief out of anything I had tried prior. However, I was still disabled and still living in a wheelchair and still medicated even. So I was hanging on by a thread at times. And so often my family would tell me to just hang in there. There's going to be technology that's being invented. There's going to be products that come out that are going to give you a major breakthrough. And you just have to hold out. The longer you can hold out, the better chances you have of finding one of these products. And so when I saw VoxxLife really for what it is, I couldn't help but think, this is exactly the kind of thing that I searched for all those years when I was disabled. And knowing that I have a tool like this now that's drug-free, non-invasive, doesn't interact with any chemicals in their body in a bad way, like medications, no adverse interreactions, and there's no side effects. And if you don't like the effect, you can just literally take the technology off. And so I am just really excited to be involved in this new frontier of neurostimulation. So when we look at neurostimulation, people ask, well, what is neurostimulation? We have all sorts of chemicals that can affect and stimulate the nervous system and control it for a specific amount of time. But we also have technology like all different types of neurostimulation device that can actually modulate and change the potential in a nerve and in the cell. And they can do that without some of the side effects that come with invasive procedures and as medications. And so it's been pretty cool. Now, sometimes they have their own side effects of their own. Like this instrument I have in myself, for instance, that took a long time to recover after a very intense surgery implanting that. So, a lot of people that doesn't go well. And unfortunately, the damage is already done. So anytime we find things that we can do superficially, without being invasive, that is always the easiest and first choice, especially when it's something that we can actually afford. So we're talking about a drug-free approach, non-electrical, non-chemical, totally safe. It's immediate And I'm going to show you the kind of research we've been doing and the technology we're using to show you exactly what it does immediately in your body and in your brain. And of course, it is neurostimulation. So this is the new frontier, and this is Vox HPT technology. And so basically, this technology is a special code that when comes in contact with proprioceptors and mechanoreceptors in a specific spot on the body, in this case, the bottom of the foot, which is your primary zone, it goes through the sensory motor pathway to the sensory motor cortex, and that is where it is decoded and actually stimulates and activates brainstem activity. And so anytime I get a product, because I am a chiropractor, but I also specialize in brain trauma and brain health. And so my whole career, I have been doing thousands and thousands of brain maps on people where we take an in-depth look at the body through the brain and what the brain is doing and what you're capable of doing. And so when I found this technology, we put it to the test. The technology is basically stimulating the bottom of your foot, activating the brainstem, which then increases all brain activity. We see a difference of range of motion, of strength, of balance. We've already known that it helps the body heal whatever it is the body's trying to heal. So the tech doesn't heal you. Let's make that very clear. The tech enhances your own innate ability to deal with life's circumstances and gives you a better ability to adapt to your environment and give you better control of your nervous system. And that is worth the price of admission. So we've already proven over 8 years that it gives us pain relief, better physical mobility, it increases your energy, and the list goes on and all the wonderful benefits. And they've proven that the strength, literally you're 8 times less likely to fall down if you are wearing this tech. And for those of you that are over 65 years old, you know how important that is, because if you break a hip over 65 years old, you are 12 times more likely to die that year and 30% more likely to get dementia that year because of the heavy metals that are released in the bone and actually cause damage to your brain. So we needed to look at the brain. So it's more than just brain stem activity. It is literally all the brain activity. So we have the ability to do what is called a QEEG, which is a quantitative electroencephalograph of the brain. And we look at 19 spots simultaneously around the brain, and we can isolate neurological activity down to a space as simple as one voxel, which is 5 millimeters squared. So you could literally put 8 voxels inside one dice. And so this allows us to see the brain and image the brain in over 80 different categories of the brain and sections of the brain and isolate the neurological activity. So when we see all of this, we are seeing a fluctuation of colors. We are seeing and recording neurotransmitters firing at an extraordinary rate. And we're able to build that 3D image of the brain. So this is a little video that I made when I first upgraded to this enhanced 3D imaging software. Right out of the gate, I was blown away because we're doing tests and clinical trials with the Vox technology. So I wanted to just take a moment and share this video. So what you're about to see is specifically my limbic system only. And then I'm going to step on the insoles and watch what happens to the limbic system, which controls your emotions and how you feel, okay? So this is my limbic system. Now my feet just got placed on the insoles, and we want it all green. And there it is. When I saw that, I about fell out of my chair. Why is that significant? Well, when green is the case, like we're seeing now, this means that I have reached homeostasis and that I have good reserve. I have a longer fuse. So if it's red, that means it was overexcited. Now, granted, I was pretty darn excited. We just got this technology, and so I was playing with it, and so I should have been aroused if I was literally happy about it, which I was. So red is over-aroused. Yellow is super high. That's like way out of the zone. But on the other side of the spectrum, a lot of people, you're going to start seeing the blue, and then the dark blue is super low. So we're far more concerned about the low than the high, because we can always calm things down. But when it's low, we don't understand the depth of the neurological degradation. And so are we ever going to be able to turn it back on? But to see this technology stimulate and activate the brainstem so fast, and literally we isolate all different sections of the brain, and we see the same phenomena happen time and time again, going from any specific color or sharp random colors all the way to green within minutes, and in sometimes seconds of putting this technology on. So as I mentioned, we had the ability to see like the frontal cortex. Now in this case, when the frontal cortex is blue, like we see at the top, this is actually inattention. You know, you can only pay attention for so long, and I really kind of lose the interest and have poor decision making, and then we basically start to see a cognitive decline. Now with the technology, we see it start to change colors and it turns green. This means improved attention, better decision making, improved cognitive function. And so we have the ability to look at, just say, the occipital lobe. This is the part of the brain that controls your vision and interprets, what am I seeing and how am I interpreting that information? And so obviously when it's blue, there's a lag, there's a decline. This also controls your memory and your dreaming and your ability to sleep. Now, we put the technology on, and you can see within seconds, all the blue just wakes up and turns green. So we see this, again, in different areas of the brain, which mean and control different things. Here's the limbic system. As we showed one of mine, this is actually a different patient. And you can see that limbic system in this case is mostly blue. So that is an under-aroused person that maybe struggles with, you know, different conditions that relate to being under-aroused, such as depression, ADD, and things like that. And then, of course, after we put this tech on them, we see it wake right up and go from blue to green, and actually have good physical control of that arousal state at will. So when we do these brain maps, we can literally get over a 100-page report. And on these reports, we have each slice of, like, this is just one page of the report, and we're looking at 12 hertz. And so this is part of that sensory motor rhythm. This is part of the brainwave. If you were an Olympic athlete on the edge of the diving board, you'd want to have all of this gray. So in this case, the key at the bottom, I took green out and just made the green transparent. And so again, red is too high, yellow is way too high. And what we're seeing at the very top left of this slide is just a slice right under the chin, and then it cuts like lunch meat all the way up to the top of the crown of the head at the bottom. So the left picture is what we see in this particular patient that was struggling from, you know, some over-aroused issues. As we can see, all of the red, we don't want to be there. And then as soon as we put the socks on, we can see how neurologically things return back into that homeostasis zone, and the colors calm down just as they should be in the circumstance of this test. And so, you know, looking at it in a closer zoom of that area, we can see overactivity calm right down and give that person a better, longer fuse. So we wanted to put the mapping to the test. And so we started about 6 months ago into an in-depth study doing QEEG brain mapping and introducing HPT technology. So the participants took a survey. We did balance tests with them to demonstrate the product, range of motion and stability. And then we basically did a brain map. We had them put the tech on their feet, and immediately, within seconds, did another brain map. And so we could actually compare, you know, every single voxel of the brain, what's changed with this tech. Now, for the record, if we just did 2 brain maps back to back, we would see maybe 0 to 2% change in those brain maps, because we didn't do any training, we didn't introduce anything. And so we've tested over the years doing thousands of brain maps, different types of products, to see how it changes the brain and then how long that change actually lasts. So we set out on this journey to really see, does this affect the brain and its function? What is it doing to change brain waves? And is it actually helping the brain connect better? this interconnectivity that drives the brain. So the overview of the patients here, about 56% of them were female, 44% male, and they range from 12 to 81 years old. And so in that range, we're seeing very similar changes at any range. Now, the average is about 55 to 74. And you can see from the list here, the number one complaint that all the participants had is they've had some sort of traumatic brain injury in their life. So when we put the criteria out for the study, we wanted people that are interested in brain health. That was basically the criteria. We're going to spend the time in teaching you what's going on in your brain and how this tech is helping your brain. We want you to actually be interested in that and not just want a free pair of tech. And so traumatic brain injury is number one, anxiety, depression, fatigue, top four, okay, is what we basically came across with. And so much to our surprise, usually something will change the brain maybe 10 to 25% if it's very effective. We're seeing changes here, 31% eyes closed and 36% on average. So we've seen people as high as 65% change and as low as 13 or 17% change. So this is really significant in any other product that I've ever tested in the past. So we have four categories that we talk about in learning about interpreting brain activity. One of them is the magnitude. This is like the gray matter in the brain and what you have control over. And in these maps, we basically want to see everything green. When we start to see the red circles, that area and section of the brain is too high, yellow is very high. And then we already mentioned blue is low, dark blue is very low. So magnitude is the gray matter, what you control, and that's the part that every product that we test can change that temporarily. And so seeing big changes in there isn't always the most impressive thing. It does help because that's the conscious mind that you're going to perceive the change in. But there's a lot of other things that are happening underlying that is super important for your overall health. And so asymmetry is one of those things. Your ability to departmentalize your brain, and right and left brain, give them their own space, because left brain thinks little picture to big picture and right brain is thinking big picture to little picture. So 2 + 2 is 4. 4 is the sum of two parts of 2. So you want to give them their own space. And this gives us exactly what's going on with interpreting that one way or another. When all of them are to the right, that's usually depression. When it's all the way to the left, that's usually anxiety. And if it's both opposite, then we're having bipolar issues. And so we can get a really good idea of this default mode that they get into. Where are they putting their energy and effort? Now, the third one is interconnectivity, how well the brain actually connects together and turns green. And right and left brain can laterally think and make decisions and focus on something one time and retain all that information, versus disconnect and trying to do it all one side or the other. So again, these two things we see change sometimes in some of the products, but there's the fourth area now that's called the dominant frequency. And this is like a sacred area. I haven't seen anything really ever change this area other than doing training and doing neurofeedback and actually growing new tissue in that part of the brain. And so dominant frequency is something that tells me, hey, what are you capable of doing? And that's super important because you might be choosing to do something else, but what you're capable of doing is still viable. Once that gets too bad and you have too much neurological degradation, now we're seeing things like Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, MS, conditions of the brain where you've just lost neurological activity. So when we see some of these areas turn blue, we get really concerned because we're not sure if we can ever actually change that. So when we got into the study, I'm going to go through these real quick. Let me make my picture a little bit smaller there. The top picture is a patient, 56-year-old female in this case, that was dealing with stress, over-aroused beta. She put the Voxx technology on, and within seconds, all of that calmed right down. So we have another patient, a lot of stress, a lot of ADD here, and over-aroused, and all of that calmed right down. They could actually sit there without fidgeting. Then we had a few more patients here that was the opposite end of the spectrum, all blue, under aroused. We're not sure if we could wake it up, and we start to see all of these activities turn green instantly down below. So that's really exciting. People from chronic discomfort, let's call it, over arousal, can put the socks on and their brain can actually let it go and adapt naturally and bring all that green. This is actually just one patient on this slide, all the way back down. So the patterns are amazing. And what we've seen is 100% of the participants have had some pretty significant changes in magnitude. The second category, asymmetry, I mentioned how we want everything in this box to be red and then turn blue, so we can see a lot of that calms down real quick. Restlessness, feeling overwhelmed. Or the other side for beta is going to be anxiety and stress and worry, when all of that inside the box is blue. And we can see how everything calms right down and turns green. Absolutely amazing. We're seeing alpha and beta mostly are the changes that are being documented around asymmetry. Interconnectivity, we talked about right and left brain actually connecting across and turning green. Super important decision making and having your yes be yes and your no be no. We've seen about 72% of the patients in this category see some changes. But this was the one that made me just slow down and really take it in, like that did not just happen. And this is the dominant frequency. This is the part that we only see changed after a month of training and all the great habits. And we're seeing time and time again, all of this blue, which means we're not sure if we could ever wake that up, simply putting the socks on and turning green. This was the contributing factor that won me personally over to this is the real deal and everybody needs to know about it. This is so powerful that I've never seen anything like this happen before. This will absolutely change healthcare as we know it. And so this practitioner program was designed just for the practitioners to help you understand all the simplest and easiest ways that you can implement this into the clinical setting and have the most effect in helping patients get better faster and stay well. And so we understand that, that takes some time to learn all of that stuff. And so to wrap up the study, we're going to have an ongoing study through the remainder of this year, 2018. And so if you're interested in following that study or learning more about it or even signing up for it and coming here to Denver, Colorado to do the study, go ahead to the VoxxStudy.com and register for that. So again, just to wrap up, how amazing this technology is. I know some of you watching this video right now have never actually demoed or tried the product. And so I encourage you to do so. This is something that everybody on the planet can afford. And actually, we can't afford not to have it because our health is so critical. And if we feel good, we can do good. And if we don't feel good, how good do we do? How effective are we at really helping change other people's lives that are in our path that day? So we're all about getting better well and staying well. And this is a key component to not only your healthcare and your healthcare program to getting you well, but keeping you well ongoing is our inevitable goal because we want to make you the best you could possibly be. And so we have something here that's drug-free, that's not invasive, it's not electrical. It's so easy to use. Now we even have some new products that have just come out that you don't even need the sock or the insole anymore. They have a patch called Harmony that you can stick on your body and it'll have the same effect of this for those of you like wearing sandals and flip-flops and being in the summertime and not wearing shoes. There is so many more innovative products and designs coming out that are going to absolutely keep impacting your life and blowing your mind as we know it. And so this doesn't react to things. There's no side effects. It's drug-free. It's safe. It's affordable. And it's something that everybody will know about shortly and will be a household name. So with that, we know that doctors are the best source for people to learn things from. Inevitably, doctor means teacher. And so we really wanted to cater to the doctors and create a program that any of you doctors or healthcare practitioners that are interested in getting into our medical program, it is a very simple process to do, and it's no nonsense, guys. We make it so easy and I hate to use the word simple again, but that's just basically what it is. We've made it so simple that you can literally make the decision that I want to get behind this product. And within just a short few hours, you're up to speed, you're trained, and you know exactly what to do and how to start sharing this and how to really cause another revenue stream and impact the patients and get them better and a referral source for more patients that come in. So with all of that, I would like to introduce you to our new physician portal called VoxxMed.com. Now, as you open up your Vox account and you start a medical account, you will actually have access to this site. Now, this site is not designed for the field and the typical associate to be able to go in and watch and learn everything. This is really information that has been protected to teach the practitioners how to do their job more effectively, how to overcome a lot of objections that they're probably going to get along the way, and the questions answered that they need answered to really make an informed decision of how am I going to do this and what's the best way with the type of clinic that we have. So first of all, I want to say that we have a team of doctors here at VoxxMed to support you guys and to help answer those questions and to be available for you to make this transition into the Vox world very simple and easy. And one of those is by creating this patient portal. So, not patient portal, I'm sorry, doctor physician portal. So let me go ahead and share something else. Go desktop. Let me get out of PowerPoint. I am going to jump over here and go to VoxxMed.com. Okay, so what we have here, there's several quick videos in here to teach you what is HP technology and what is Vox to help you understand that more. We have a tab that goes through several of the studies that have already been done and that are here and available for you to check out and learn more. Under the Office Implementation tab, we have several areas here that we can demonstrate the technology and the videos to teach you how to do that, how to recommend the different products that they have, communicating with the patients and the staff to the patients and all of that. And again, this is just like one big long landing page here that goes through teaching you how to explain each different type of product that they have, all with this technology. And again, communicating with your patients and all the different ways that you can find a way that fits your style and resonates with your heart and why you love this product. Also, step-by-step instructions to the different ways of moving the product through the office, whether it's through the website or through inventory. Here's our tools and resource areas for all the different forms and printouts and handouts, trifolds, brochures. We have all different parties and classes that you can hold in your clinic, a 10 to 15 minute class, and then we demo the product and make it fun. And so, you know, we're here to make your job super simple and easy and create ongoing tools to help you guys make your life a lot of fun. And this is an easy product. You'll never find a simpler product to recommend that gets immediate results that everybody's going to absolutely love. We have a couple office loop videos that you can play that basically do the 3 or 4 minute explanation of what is Vox and Vox technology and how does that work. We also have artwork and different apparel and so forth. Now, a lot of you I know would never be doing this for the money, and it's not about the money, it's about the product and it's about helping the patients. But however, as so many of you physicians have come on board, all the questions are really about compensation. And so once we get behind the product and we know I love this, and I'm certainly going to wear it every day for the rest of my life, and all my family is sold out for this product, now it's just a matter of how can I be most effective and efficient in implementing this to where I can maximize my commission back and my efforts. And so we have an amazing program. This, you know, we talk about network marketing, but really this is a direct sales company that blesses you with a bunch of affiliate commissions. And so as you learn about that, you'll realize this is so simple, I can explain it to somebody on a napkin. It's just that easy. Now, we also have a tab up here for our news. And so we have a monthly newsletter that comes out called the Doc's Corner. And in this, we have different physicians and different healthcare practitioners that are going to highlight a case of a patient that they had. And there's some criteria of how they gather the information from the patient and the videos and so forth. But we want to be able to post that on highlight that on our newsletter every single month. There'll be a little section there called From the Heart, and that'll be from the CEO and owner, Jay Dollywall, and he's going to be able to contribute a little bit more about why he does this. I mean, he is all heart. You're never going to find a greater leader and mentor than somebody that is not about the greed, but he's all about blessing people with as much abundance that he could ever give you. And all of that abundance starts with our health. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, it doesn't mean anything. You've never seen anybody going to their funeral with the Hertz pulling a U-Haul, okay? So it's not about the money, guys. It's about changing and impacting the world, and that's what we're here to do as a company and as a mission and as a movement that we're all part of, which is much greater than any of us individually. So the other section here is called Doctors Speak. And this is a section where we actually have the doctors coming in and giving us their testimonies of their patients. And you know, we want to know things like pull up, you know, different types of things that people are dealing with. And we want to see other people that have had those types of things and the experiences they've had. So again, this is all behind password protected. This is not an open to the public site. This is only for the practitioner's ears. So we understand the power of what we have and what we're doing here. We do have a medical advisory board, and you can learn about all the members of our board here and what we're doing to continue to bring the movement of Vox to the world. How we connect to people. Every single month we have practitioner calls that we're going to bring you more of the latest and greatest things that we're doing and implementing. We have associate calls every single week. We have live events going on around the country all the time as well. And then a lot of you guys, you know, we've taken all of the hundreds of docs that have come in so far, and we've gathered all their questions, and we've kind of narrowed it down to a lot of the top questions that people are having that have kind of prevented them or stalled them from taking action and doing something tonight. So we put all of these into here too, so you can really kind of get a head start on being proactive about some of the objections that may come along your way, or some of the concerns that you're going to have, you know, in order to feel all warm and fuzzy about doing this. Now, you know, to become an active, you know, associate or medical account, it's a $40 fee. So we're not talking about anything that anybody can't afford. And the socks range from $15 to $45, depending on what it is that they want. So this is something that literally everybody can afford, and it's something that you're all going to want to get behind. And so we have never seen a product that has been so exciting and so easy to implement and be able to share at lightning speed. We have many small clinics that have moved thousands and thousands of dollars worth of socks. It's like they can't keep them in stock. People are buying them, handfuls of them. So it is an amazing product. People are going to be better during the day, and they're going to sleep better at night. And so we would love to have all of you on board with us. And just know that we are all on the same team here. You have an amazing board of directors and people like myself and our team members here that are really here to serve you guys and to answer all your questions and to make this fun and exciting. You're never going to find something that's easier and something that could literally build a royalty passive income for you moving forward, you know, with the potential of what this has and how it's going to impact your life, your family's life, your patient's life, and all of their family and friends. So I'm so happy you took a few minutes to get on this call tonight. Thank you so much for evaluating VoxxLife. And I hope that if you are a healthcare practitioner, you see that you have a company here that is all in, that is going to spare no expense when it comes to research to further prove the efficacy of this amazing product, and is someone that listens to the field and listens to the people out there and hears what they need and can deliver that and give that to you 100%. So with that, I hope all of you have a blessed day, and we will talk to you next time. Good night.